And now welcome inside the Collins Arena for another edition of Jersey Blues basketball here on Brookdale TV. Brian Goutsrich and Kettle Famo here with you today as the Jersey Blues will take on Ocean. The men are up first today for a rare time this season. And Tim, the beat goes on for this team this year. I think everyone knows by now it's the #1 team in the nation. But we talk a lot of times about Coach Paul Chizek's longevity, 26 years at the helm. I'm not so sure he's seen a better team than the one years this year.
Yeah, Coach Chizek has told me many times how impressive this team is, and when you look at it from afar, it really is very impressive. The amount of depth that this team has is incredibly impressive. They've won all their home games this year. They've not lost a game. They've won 26 games in a row. It's just been incredible. So certainly one of the best teams I think that Coach Chizek has ever seen.
The Brookdale Community College Jersey Blues coming into this game with an overall record of 26 wins to 0 losses.
12 games, so they've got
From
themselves back
sophomore
to
number 5, Zach Olugani.
but a lost season they had covered after a difficult beginning to their year. So right now the starting lineup is produced in front of us. Looks like we have some excellent boys here.
Sophomore number 13,
Thursday.
Jameek.
And with that, we'll take a look at the Jersey Blues starting lineup. It'll be Kyle Bradshaw,
number 14,
Tariq Holmes, Kenny LaRocca, and Matt Ringel, who today starts in his 27th consecutive game, the only Jersey Blue to do that this year. And for the Ocean Vikings, who overall enter with a record of 8 up and 15 down for the year, and they'll go with Edward Jones, Jason Porter, Kenneth Barrow Jr., Patrick Marinaccio, and R.J. Lang. So we're just about set for the opening tip on this Thursday evening. And the Jersey Blues have played 13 games each at home and on the road, and of course it hasn't mattered where they played because they've won every one of them. An incredible 26-0 mark for Brookdale as they take the floor looking for win number 27 in a row. It's Matt Ringel and R.J. Lang set to take the tip-off. The officials today, Tom Fitzgerald, Nathan Anderson, and DeJuan Jones. And here we go with Ocean controlling the opening tip. Here's Barrow Jr., watched by Moore. Now R.J. Lang takes the first shot of the day. It's short, just grazed the rim, and back the other way, Tariq Holmes. Holmes whips it to the corner. Olakani catch and shoot. Too strong. Ringel back up with it, and that got the rim.
Yeah, nice rebound there by Ringel, but he was too far underneath the basket to do anything with it. Unfortunately, that's sometimes what happens when you have a weak side rebound when the shot from the other side.
Here's Barrow Jr. connecting from long range, and a very quick timeout. 40 seconds into the game as Paul Chizek sees his team give up a basket, and that's enough for him to stop and get into his team a little bit.
Yeah, quick 30-second timeout there for Coach Chizek. Somebody did not get out and get a hand in the face of Barrow Jr. there, who was able to drain that three. So that's something that Coach Chizek does not want happening early on in this game. Remember, even though this is probably not going to be one of the tougher teams that Brookdale has faced this season, they're preparing for a Region 19 title run and then potentially going out of the Nationals. So they got to clean up anything that's not working, particularly on defense, in preparation for those games.
So after the quick timeout, Brookdale will look to get on the board for the first time. Get it across midcourt. Bradshaw hesitates, drives inside, now back out Holmes. Moore lines up a long ball, got it for 3. Long range, Jameek Moore ties it in the early going. Lob pass inside, tipped by Moore, stolen by Ringel. Now Bradshaw. Olakani leans in short, and it's snatched there by Jones. R.J. Lang with a nice fake, and he takes it himself for 2.
Yeah, nice ball control there by Ocean in that possession. Brookdale started to press them a little bit in the backcourt, but they were able to handle that pretty easily.
Here's Olakani with contact, and a blocking foul is called. That'll send Olakani to the free throw line. As taking the hit was R.J. Lang. He picks up the foul. It's the first of the day. So Olakani coming off one of his better outings of the season with 17 points. First free throw attempts, and well off the mark on the first one.
Yeah, that was against Philadelphia on Tuesday night, and that was actually a much closer game than many people expected it would be, only winning 86-79. Philly's a much improved team over last year, but still, Brookdale struggled in that game, and Philly had a chance late in that game to take the win.
Yeah, Philadelphia, the number 5 team in the Region 19, and Brookdale was actually down by 6 at the half before having a good second half to keep their perfect run alive. Jason Porter with a crossover finds Marinaccio. He's trapped. Gives it up. Marinaccio with contact, and he'll go to the line. And that's R.J. Lang, who will shoot free throws now for the Vikings. As Brookdale will pick up team foul number 1, and it's on Ringel. So Lang out of Pine Beach, New Jersey, off the mark on the first one. For Ocean, they're coming off a win, 103-92 on Saturday against the Bergen Bulldogs. As Lang splits a pair from the line. Ocean has a 6-3 early lead. They've gone to some pressure early on in the backcourt. This time Brookdale defeats it. Ringel floats it up there, tips it to himself for a second chance, had it stripped, and it'll stay with Brookdale. Moore will inbound it. Now Moore against Marinaccio. Moore going behind the back. Out for Bradshaw. Bradshaw, the righty floater. It gets the roll.
Yeah, nice drive by Bradshaw. Bradshaw actually struggled in the last game against Philadelphia. Actually, at one point came out of the game saying, "Take me out, coach. I'm just not playing very well." So hopefully he'll have a better effort this evening.
Cut to the basket, but it's stolen away by Moore. Leads Bradshaw, able to collect it, and he lays it in. That was a tough catch there for Bradshaw in traffic, but he handled it and went up for the score as Brookdale goes in front.
And it just shows how easily Brookdale can run up the floor. They like to push the ball, and somehow they just make it look effortless when they're running up the floor with that high-tempo offense.
Morrow Jr. fakes. Marinaccio driving inside, tried to go glass. The offensive rebound blocked by Ringel. It's a 2-on-2 with Holmes leading the way. Holmes scoops in, but he missed it. Now Lang gets around Moore. Another fake, and he runs into Ringel. It's an offensive foul.
Yeah, I think Lang was trying to give the ball up, and he noticed the outlet pass wasn't there, had no choice, was already too far in the paint to pull up, and ran over Ringel there, so good call by the officials.
And with that, Lang picks up his second, so he heads for the bench, and he's replaced by Jack Waddleton.
Ocean sticking with this full-court press, which has not allowed Brookdale to be able to run up the floor like they normally like to do at the beginning of the game, so it's thrown them off just a tad.
Now Holmes was open, not looking to shoot. Kick out for Bradshaw, driving baseline. Ringel down low. Ringel again, back up with it, and puts it in. This is the second meeting of the season between these teams. The first one was rather one-sided, but that was back when things for Ocean were going south. They've been able to turn things around as Moore with a rejection, and he gets it. Now Moore brings it ahead. Gets bumped on a blocking foul.
Yeah, Ocean's won 3 straight games, and they just recently took down Bergen 103-92. They've actually had a couple of wins this year where they have scored more than 100 points. So Ocean's not someone that you can really sleep on. Certainly, do they have the amount of depth that Brookdale has on the bench? No, but they're a team that can creep up on you and can play very well offensively if you give them the chance.
And they played in a lot of close games this year as Moore misses the free throw.
Yeah, the problem with Ocean is they just lack depth. They have the players, they have all the pieces, they just don't have quite the depth that some of the other teams in the region have, like Brookdale, and that's prevented them from really accelerating this year.
And a rare 2 misses for Jameek Moore, who shoots just under 90%.
And that's 4 missed foul shots for Brookdale total. Remember the 2 foul shots that Olakani missed at the beginning of the game.
Here's the jumper from the outside. Barrow Jr. came up with air. And now Moore with a little shake and bake. Olakani on the drive, the kick. It's an offensive foul as he plowed into Edward Jones. So with that, Brookdale will make a change. Frez Cabrera is in to replace Olakani, who just picked up the foul. And the Jersey Blues now will show some pressure here in the backcourt. Isaiah Hill, the step-back jumper, he got it. Long 2-pointer just inside the 3-point line for his first 2 as he comes in off the bench. Blocking the shot is Waddleton on the try from Ringel. Jersey Blues retain it, and the inbounder Holmes for Bradshaw. Quick catch, shoot, knocks it down. That's one thing that Brookdale does very well is execute on the out-of-bounds plays. Very often they find the open shooters, and they seem to be effective on those plays. That time Bradshaw is the beneficiary. 3-point Brookdale lead. And Waddleton forced to give it up. Lang steps in. That's Marinaccio who can't connect and rebounded by Bradshaw.
Yeah, Ocean's had some good looks at the basket, and they're hanging around with Brookdale. Brookdale looks a little bit sluggish in this first couple of minutes.
Not sluggish there for Holmes as he drops in a 3-pointer.
Of course, now as I say that, then they knock down the 3. But last several minutes open up this game. Brookdale hasn't quite looked as sharp as we have seen in past games, and that's allowed Ocean to hang around early on.
Their games have been trending closer the last handful or so, and I don't think you can fault this Jersey Blue team as Ringel intercepts the pass. Jersey Blues running. Cabrera long strides to the basket for the layup.
And remember, no Grant Good this evening. He's been out the last couple of games. He's got a little bit of a flu bug this evening, so he's not going to play. So potentially that could be a reason why Brookdale's not quite as sharp the last couple of games.
Good, the team's second leading scorer as you see the finish in transition by Cabrera. Ocean has suddenly gone cold from the floor. Shot clock is down to 10. Jones was kicked by Moore out of bounds. So the Vikings will have to move quickly, only 6 to shoot. There's head coach Patrick Boylan. As Hill fires away, just grazed the rim, and here comes Holmes. Holmes looking to run all the way to the basket. Tough shot. Ringel tips it back up. Ringel fights his way again and draws the foul. Matt Ringel just would not be denied, and free throws coming up.
Yeah, and Ringel takes a lot of contact down low. There's many fouls that are called. There's also many fouls that are not called. It's a tough spot. It's a tough position to play when you're down low on the block like that. You have to expect a lot of contact and be tough enough, and remember to hold onto that ball with 2 hands because you're going to get it slapped around quite a bit. But Ringel shows nice poise down low, and now he's going to go to the line for 2.
And soft touch on the first one as LaRocca comes in, and Bradshaw to the bench. Ringel averaging an even 10 points a game for the season, but even more impressive has been his effort on the defensive end from start to finish. It's now a 10-point Jersey Blue advantage. As here's Barrow Jr. misses, and LaRocca for Holmes tried on the save, but it'll stay with Ocean. New shot clock to work with for the Vikings. Edward Jones. And Hill's pass taken away by Moore. It's a clear path to the basket and the slam.
And Moore's usually not the one that gets out in transition like that. Usually it's Holmes or Cabrera or another player, but Holmes with a nice two-hand finish.
So after Brookdale was down 6-3 to start, they've gone on a 17-2 run.
Yeah, so much for what we were just talking about a moment ago, being sluggish.
Waddleton misses on the drive to the basket. Now LaRocca traveled. Patrick Marinaccio is back in.
Yeah, Ocean's going to have to go inside a little bit more. They're in this game right now, but this potentially could get away with them quickly because since we know how quick Brookdale can score, I'm going to look for them to try to go inside a little bit more, try to draw contact and get to the line. Didn't work out that time.
And turnovers haven't helped their cause as Cabrera finishes in transition. Now that's just what you can't allow, is turning the basketball over and allowing the Jersey Blues to run in transition. You just can't beat them at that game, as Porter way off the mark, loose ball, and Lang able to track it down in the corner, bodied up by Cabrera. Shot clock's down to 5 now.
Yeah, I don't think they realized the shot clock didn't reset there.
And Marinaccio has to make it happen. He floats it up off the glass, and the rebound to Moore. Now Holmes for Cabrera for LaRocca. Nice passing and the finish.
Yeah, almost too much passing there, but LaRocca was able to finish underneath the basket.
And Ocean needs to talk things over after a promising start. Brookdale has taken control and will step aside with 10:52 to go until halftime.
Is that we're getting students who are returning students and new students to come in and experience what Brookdale has to offer, which is a dozen different new clubs, different people where you can meet new people, make new friends, and definitely make different connections with different people, and kind of just get involved like what we have here with different music going on, with different activities going on, with even like the fried Oreos and the funnel cake, just to get involved, have like, you know, a good start to the year. And it's really great to always get involved, because when I came to Brookdale and as soon as I got involved with student life, I absolutely loved that I made different connections with people, I made new friends, and so many different memories that I'd love to look back on as soon as I graduate from Brookdale.
Back inside the Collins Arena with 10:52 remaining in this first half. And Brookdale early on has tripled the point total of the Ocean Vikings, and they lead this one 24-8. As Ocean badly needed a timeout, they get possession. Brookdale not making it easy with the press. Lob pass inside, Moore tips it, and LaRocca takes it away off the save try from Lang. Moore, they give him too much space, in and out on a 3, rebounded by Barrow Jr. Brookdale going for the steal at midcourt, and that's a travel, as Barrow Jr. just had nowhere to go. And that's become an early theme here for Ocean. They've been turning the ball over at a high volume. About halfway through this first half now. High screen comes. LaRocca from the foul line had it blocked. Cabrera takes it back. Shot clock won't reset. Moore one-on-one with Marinaccio. Drives, kicks. Holmes from the corner, short.
Yeah, that's not really Holmes' shot, but he had a good look.
Marinaccio all the way. He may have had it blocked in transition that time. Holmes leading the break. Flipped it back out Moore. Moore works his way inside, missed it. And here comes Ocean. Had a long drought without scoring. Edward Jones, ball movement. Marinaccio off the mark as he tried from three-point range. Get it ahead Cabrera. The back in. Moore gives it up. Three on the way is off the mark. It was Denzel Lampley who's in the game. And the Vikings will take possession.
Now, while Brookdale has this big lead and Ocean's struggling to get points on the board, they're not executing all that well on offense. It's not so much that they haven't had good looks. The looks that they have been good. The baskets aren't dropping. But then there's other times where Brookdale looks a little bit confused and a little, I will say it again, slow on offense.
Porter's jumper won't go. And getting up for the rebound, Cabrera. Now Bradshaw backs his way against the defender. Nice move, but he came up short, and it's rebounded by Waddleton. Ocean's just all out of sorts offensively for the last several minutes. The cut to the basket by Porter, that wouldn't work. Now Holmes headed the floor, and he lays it up and in.
It's just these turnovers for Ocean just keep killing them. They get the ball inside, but they just can't be able to hold possession when they get the ball in the paint or if they have a good look at the basket.
Well, they average almost 18 a game, and yet another.
One.
This is just getting ugly as Holmes gives it up for LaRocca, and Cabrera's there to put it in. So you thought the opening few minutes, well, hey, maybe we might get a somewhat interesting game here as Waddleton misses. Offensive rebound, back up, and finally the scoring drought ends as it's R.J. Lang. And Ocean came out and looked pretty good, had a three-point lead, but since it has been all Jersey Blues. Not there, though, that's Jones, as Ocean is able to get the turnover. Denzel Lampley. Bounce it ahead, Porter. Pass slapped away, and this first half is turning into a turnover fest. Lampley won't go, and rebounded by Jones.
Brookdale's not back on defense here, Brian.
Waddleton fakes, drives, floater, and Lampley corrals it. Floats it ahead, Holmes, able to catch. Nice hook pass, Cabrera, it goes, and one. That was a great pass by Holmes, and Cabrera with a tough finish because Jones was there to contest it. So a chance for a three-point play for Cabrera. He's not fared overly well from the free throw line, shooting just 55%. But he, all season, has done his role very well coming off the bench. Now Jones is fouled on his way to the basket by Mekhi Morgan. So Brookdale will pick up team foul number 3. And for Morgan is first. They just barely beat the 5-second clock there. As Waddleton over Ringel, and he can't get the roll, and Ringel the rebound. Brookdale is on the floor with Moore, Bradshaw, Ringel, Cabrera, and Morgan. And Bradshaw threw it away, looking for Moore.
Yeah, just a miscommunication there between Moore and Bradshaw. Rare mistake. However, we have seen that the last few games where Brookdale, when they have large leads, sometimes opens the door up for the opponents to kind of get back into the game because they make senseless mistakes like that on that possession.
Come up on about 6 minutes to go in the first half. As Porter looking for room. Marinaccio had it poked away by Cabrera, and Brookdale will have the basketball. Those are the kind of things that Cabrera does. He just finds his way to get his hands on the basketball and create turnovers.
Yeah, both he and Tariq Holmes have some of the quickest hands I think I've ever seen. Cabrera can go out and use that and score, whereas Holmes is really great at assisting on offense.
Ringel from the baseline missed it. Rebounded by Lang. Lang will bring it ahead and poked away again for another steal. Now Hernandez, he's got it. So Hernandez just into the game, and he puts his first 2 on the board. This is a 20-point game.
It's actually surprising it's only a 20-point game with how many turnovers Ocean has had. I think they find themselves lucky down by 20 right now.
And for an Ocean team that has played better basketball in recent games, this has not been a strong showing as LaRocca comes in for Cabrera.
103 points in the last game, and they shot 56% from behind the arc as a team. So certainly not what the performance was in the last game that they played against Bergen, which is not a bad team in the Region Conference.
As Waddleton able to catch it and go up for 2. Now LaRocca is open for 3, and it's rebounded by Lang. Lang with a smaller defender, Hernandez, will go to work, find the open man, Barrow, off the mark, rebound Ringel. Now Moore made one from that spot earlier, not that time, and rebounded that time by Porter. The team's going back and forth. Lang against Ringel, and his pass is sailed over Waddleton. Transition pass getting in the way of it was Marinaccio. So it'll stay with the Jersey Blues.
And both of these two teams just not shooting all that well percentage-wise from the floor. Ocean has struggled just to get good looks on offense because of all the turnovers, but Brookdale has had plenty of possessions. They just haven't really shot the ball all that well. They've made some mistakes of their own.
Hernandez tries a 3, rimming in. Jordan Hernandez got the bounce.
Yeah, nice shot there by Hernandez.
He's got 5 points. Barrow Jr. catching fire, knocks down a 3.
That was with a hand in his face. Jameek Moore coming out, closing out on him, didn't matter.
Now Makai Morgan, what a move to the basket, and he lays it in.
Yeah, Makai Morgan is someone we haven't seen too often on the floor as a freshman, but someone that has potential. I would expect him to play a lot more next season if he sticks around.
No, he looks like on that drive was Tariq Holmes. Like a blur to the basket. The fake by Marinaccio. Good defense from LaRocca. Shot clock working down to 6. Lang for 3. They beat the buzzer and connect from long range. So Ocean's gotten a couple of much-needed 3-pointers. Pringle looking to rock the rim, but LaRocca called for steps.
It's just not a very good first half, and surprising to me, since we've seen this team so often be able to just run with the ball, they really haven't been able to effectively push the ball up the floor and run with it and use their high-tempo offense, which they like so much. That's really been the main area that they've struggled in, and as I said, Ocean, I think, finds themselves lucky to be down by just 17 right now.
Well, only a team like Brookdale can struggle and lead by 17 as Lang is on the end line out of bounds. And those are the kind of mistakes that don't help. LaRocca, high arcing shot, nothing but net from deep. An interesting note on LaRocca, along with Matt Ringel, he's the only other Jersey Blue to appear in every game this season for Brookdale. And he's done a nice job contributing on the offensive end. 40-20 is the Brookdale lead. That time LaRocca knocks it out of bounds. Shot clock at 11 as Ocean will inbound. Timer working down to 5. Driving kick to the corner. Barrow way off, and it's fielded by Hernandez. Along the perimeter it goes. LaRocca fakes at the defender. Swing it to the corner. Hernandez open look. Yes, for 3. Jordan Hernandez has provided a first half spark off the bench.
Yeah, nice find there by LaRocca, who saw Hernandez open in the corner. That's Hernandez's shot. He likes those wing shots from the corner from behind the arc.
Nice cut by Porter, and he lays it in. Jason Porter coming off a season-high scoring performance in his last game, and beautifully to the basket, Brookdale goes, and it's Hernandez to finish. Very nice first half for him, a guy who hasn't seen a whole lot of action this season. That time Holmes picking the pocket. And Hernandez again, 2 more.
Jordan Hernandez turning up the heat in the last couple of minutes of this first half.
1 minute to go now until the break. A first half that has been all Brookdale. Waddleton down low, and he'll go to the line. So Olakani picks up his second personal, and it'll send the Point Pleasant, New Jersey native to the free throw line. And the 67% shooter hits the first one. A couple of changes here. Edward Jones is in along with Isaiah Hill. Barrow Jr. and Lang to the Vikings bench. So one more coming for the freshman.
And checking for the Vikings, number 14, Justin.
And now Justin McKenzie Simon comes in for the first time. Final minute, first half. Hernandez was feeling it. He thought about taking that jumper, but now Brookdale will go to work at the clock.
Yeah, smart move by Hernandez there. You could tell that he wanted to take that, Brian, but it was better to just back it out.
Hernandez lines up a 3. Now Ocean can hold for 1 with the shot clock turned off. LaRocca gets up on Marinaccio. Looking to wiggle around him, but nothing doing. To the corner for Porter, way off on a 3. There have been a fair share of errant shots. Half-court heave, Holmes nearly threw it down. Now that'll end the first half, one that probably wasn't Brookdale's best first half by any measure, but as I mentioned before, only the Jersey Blues, you're ranked number 1 in the nation, can be not at your sharpest and still have a 23-point lead here at halftime.
Yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head. It was not the best first half for Brookdale. They struggled in the first half. They really struggled to really put together their high-tempo offense. And as I said, I think Oceans finds themselves pretty lucky to be down by the margin that they are right now. But still, nonetheless, a good first half performance of Brookdale. Again, no Grant Good on the floor, so Brookdale's trying to work around that. And Kyle Bradshaw, we really haven't seen him on the floor very much as well. So Brookdale's trying to look to some of their other players to step up in a game like this. Still a good performance, but not quite as sharp as we've seen in past games.
Yeah, and one player that has stepped up is Jordan Hernandez. Terrific first half for him. Brookdale in command. They look to make it 27 wins in a row if they can hold on here today. We'll take a break for the half and come back after the break. Brian Goudsford, Tim Catalfamo back here with you as you get a look at the Ocean women's team. They'll be part of the second game of our Brookdale TV doubleheader this evening.
Yeah, usually the women are at 5 o'clock, men are at 7, so they switched it up which has become kind of a tradition the last several years. The last time, every single time Ocean comes into this building, I don't know why, but just for fun.
Yeah, I can't think of any other reason behind that.
Just to confuse us and try to throw us off a little bit.
Second half underway. Brookdale has Holmes, Moore, Lampley, Ringel, and McNeil on the floor. So a little bit of a different look here for Paul Chizek's group, leading by 23 points. As Lampley, the spin, and he missed it. Rebounded by Borrow Jr. Nice move by Lampley, but couldn't finish.
Yeah, Lampley's got to go up just a little bit harder with that and use the backboard. He tried to kind of just bank that, or tried to just sink that one in without using the backboard. Try to use the backboard. That's what it's there for. Go up a little bit harder next time. He'll complete that shot.
Edward Jones on the drive and banks it in with the left hand. Oh, a nice drive that time. The pass was through the hands of Ringel. Still able to get reset up. Moore from well behind the line drills a three-pointer.
And we know how good Jameek Moore is at draining those threes when he has a hand in his face, but when you don't have a hand in his face, his percentage of knocking those down goes way up.
Jason Porter for two underneath. And
shot clock didn't start. I think.
Paul Chizek, I think, took a timeout as well. So much like the opening of the first half, it was at about 40 seconds in. He saw his team give up a three-pointer, immediately took a timeout. Well, he takes one here after the easy basket by Porter. So an early timeout, just 1:08 into the proceedings here in the second half. Ocean trying to regroup after a long slog of a first half, and it was the turnovers that stood out as the reason for their first half struggles.
Yeah, Ocean could have potentially taken a lead at one point in the first half had they not had so many turnovers, because they had good looks. Brookdale was struggling from the floor offensively and had the door open for Ocean to possibly either take a lead or come within a couple baskets. They weren't able to do so, and now Brookdale might start turning on the Jets here in the second half.
McNeil kisses it off the glass. So McNeil getting the second half start. Holmes watching Jones. Borrow Jr. short, long rebound to Holmes. Holmes, as he often does, pushing. More catch and fire. Yet another, as this time he tries the other side and has the same result. What a season for Jameek Moore.
I mean, the stat alone of shooting 48% from behind the three-point line is impressive enough, but just the performance that he has shown this year has really just been impressive.
It's come game in and game out for him. I mean, the shooting numbers, the scoring, the defense as well, just all-around game. Been spectacular. And trying on the save was Waddleton. It'll go to the Jersey Blues.
And picking up on that point on Moore just a second ago, the interesting thing about Jameek Moore, he'll put up sometimes 25, 30 points a game, but he'll do so quietly. You don't really realize how many points he has until the end of the night when you look at the stat sheet and go, wow, he's got 35 points in a game.
Here he has an assist as McNeil, all in one motion, lays it in. Moore averaging over 4 helpers a game as well, so he sets up his teammates in addition to handling the scoring load. He's had the hot hand to start the half. Now he pulls up inside the arc. That one won't go. And a long rebound track down Marinaccio. Borrow Jr. with Ringel contesting. And Moore able to tip it for McNeil. McNeil starts the other way. Holmes whips it inside. Ringel has to back up for it, take a jumper, and hit. And this one is gotten out of hand as there's the last jumper, and Brookdale has their largest lead now at 31 points. Foul on the entry pass is on Lampley. And it's Brookdale's first.
Yeah, Lampley, he's not going to get away with that one. That was Barrow Jr. there by the jersey. No, actually, I'm sorry, that was Waddleton, actually, rather, by the jersey in the paint. Not a whole lot the officials are going to do other than just blow the whistle.
Isaiah Hill substitutes for Edward Jones. Bounce pass inside, could not be handled by Waddleton. And Edward Jones is just like that, is back in. I mean, that might be the fastest break in the history of basketball. It was about 2 seconds.
It's just enough time to get a drink of water, come back in.
Ringel, swing it, more extra pass. Lampley drives in. Picked up by Barrow Jr. Here's Lang. Marinaccio got Ringel in the air. Pass was kicked. Marinaccio will inbound it. Get it outside for Lang, and he drains a three-pointer. So R.J. Lang, who averages a double-double on the season, puts one on the board from three-point range. Ringel misses the dunk. He's able to get it back, though. Second chance opportunity. Ringel just got denied by the rim that time. McNeil driving baseline for two.
And McNeil's a player as well, along with Makai Morgan, that we haven't really seen too much this year, getting some extra minutes here in the second half with Brookdale with a large lead. Nice drive that time, a nice finish with the right hand.
Now Marinaccio with the left hand draws the foul on McNeil. And he'll go to the free throw line. Team foul number 2 against the Jersey Blues. Ocean as a team, they had their problems from the line, just 59% as a team. Jason Porter checks in for Barrow Jr. Paul Chizek looking on there.
Tom Fitzgerald almost was in the way there of that pass.
5 minutes gone by in the half. Lob pass inside, taken away. Good play by Porter. And Lang had it stripped away. Here's Lampley, 3-on-2 developing. Bounce for McNeil, return pass Lampley, fouled inside. So that's team foul number 1 against the Vikings. And Isaiah Hill picks up his first.
A lot of people on the Brookdale bench right now. Usually you don't see that many people on that bench. It's getting kind of crammed over there.
It does look rather crammed. Just 1 out of 2 from the line. Oh, and a travel on Isaiah Hill. He wasn't going to get away with that. Kenny LaRocca is now in the game for Brookdale. Jameek Moore. Holmes, that's a long three. Moore fires it back up and nothing but net on a three-point basket. Another impressive performance from the Jersey Blues' leading scorer. Lang creates space. Off the rim, no. McNeil couldn't catch it cleanly, but it's going Brookdale's way. Bradshaw comes in for Ringler. So Jersey Blues appear poised to make it 27 wins in a row without a loss this season. It's now about a couple of weeks that they've been the #1 team in all of the country, as Holmes able to get to the basket easily. Lang with a back in, nice move, and he banks it in. And you just think about this team as soon as last year, and we've talked about this before, but it was a good team as McNeil drains a 3-ball. And I remember we had a meeting with the team before we started doing the games this year, and we heard from some of the coaches. They said this team was going to be even better, and I think you and I both had a look like really better than last year, but they've proven to be exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, just the versatility that they have is, see McNeil here with a nice bucket at the other end, but the versatility that they have with just plays like that, being able to push the ball up the floor, and look at McNeil, a player that we haven't really talked about all year, being able to finish those plays. So regardless of who's on the bench or who's on the floor, Brookdale has plenty of players that can make plays on offense that can keep their team either in the game or when they have the lead can step on the gas and stay on the gas and pull away.
And they're down to just 2 final tune-ups before the postseason begins. Our expectations will be high for this program. And why not with the regular season that they've put on display this year? Bradshaw hits the jumper.
And I think it would be anything of a disappointment, much of a disappointment if Brookdale did not win a title, at least in the Region 19, to get to the national tournament this year. That's obviously their goal. Now, there's a lot of good teams that are still in their conference. Northampton, Camden, just to name a few, that are hanging around that have the potential to knock them off. But I think it would be a huge disappointment if they were not able to get that.
Of course, the region tournament will not be here at the Collins Arena like it was last year. More not that time. It'll be at Northampton. Set for the first week of the month of March. Nice behind the back. McNeil sets up more for the big throwdown. Edward Jones with a high degree of difficulty gets it to drop. (76-39). Holmes, look at the quickness. Olakani comes in. Holmes takes a seat.
And on the side for Ocean, you really have to just think what this team could be if they had maybe a few more bigger bodies down low and some more depth on their bench. It wouldn't be a half-bad team. They just have struggled this year to have consistency in that end. They're missing some players this evening, and they just don't have as much depth, particularly inside, as Brookdale has.
Olakani misses from long range. Under 11 minutes to go now. On a drive, Marinaccio, and he draws the foul.
Foul was on the Jersey Blues number 21, Anthony McNeil. That is his second. Motion on the line, shooting 2.
So Marinaccio, out of Lakewood, New Jersey.
Checking in for the Jersey Blues number 3.
Jordan Hernandez coming in. He had a big first half, provided a nice spark coming off the bench. One of his better outings of the season. Coming up empty at the line. And this one, while there's still better than 10 minutes to go, is all but wrapped up as Bradshaw adds 2. 39-point deficit for Ocean. Handoff for Marinaccio, puts up a 3, not even close. Taken away Jones. Edward Jones blocked, but a foul by Bradshaw.
Foul was on Brookdale's number 11, Kyle Bradshaw.
talked about this season, and Brookdale with this game pretty much in hand. They're going to tie, if they keep on this pace, their longest winning streak in a season, be its school record of 27 games in a row winning in one single season. And the last time they were able to achieve that, a fun fact, was back in 2012, 2013 when they went on to win the national tournament that year with a team that was half this size as far as players and half this depth. So certainly have all the numbers and stats in their favor.
Of course, they're only a few years removed from winning the entire Nationals. Cabrera with the floater in the lane. That year they did lose, though, in the regular season just once. I'm not sure if this program has ever had an undefeated regular season. That's asking a lot. It's Cabrera off the steal to the basket, lays it in. And we'll take a timeout down to 9:47 left to play. Brookdale is dominating once again all Jersey Blues this afternoon.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to that group and thank you for everyone for cooperating with the seating. We have a full house today, and we do know that there will be schools that will be coming late for buses, so I appreciate your helping by taking every seat and moving in as close as you can. So I am Dale Daniels, and I am the Executive Director of Change, the Center for Holocaust, Human Rights, and Genocide Education here at Brookdale Community College. It is wonderful to see you all here today. Our name is long, but it speaks to the essence of our mission, the Holocaust, human rights.
Back inside the Collins Arena, Brian Goudsword, Tim Kettle-Famo, the rest of our crew with you today. Game one of our doubleheader, a switch from the usual format of our Brookdale TV doubleheaders. Men playing in game number one, and the women's game will follow in game number 2 this evening. Jersey Blues basketball being brought to you by Joyce's Subs and Pizza, and they are located at 655 Newman Springs Road in Lincroft, available online at joycesubsandpizza.com. Foul called on Brookdale. It'll be team foul number 5.
Fouls on Brookdale's number 12 is Cabrera. That is his second.
Not in the act of shooting, so the Vikings to inbound on the side. Isaiah Hill can't connect, and Olakani lets it go out of bounds. Now, you think back to this season for Brookdale and back to game number 1, which feels like it was yesterday. I mean, this season is blown by, but remember back in that opener, they played a Division I team, and the time we thought that would be a big challenge. Of course, after all, Brookdale is Division III, but they went on to win that game against Harford, won it pretty handily, too, by double figures, and that game pretty much set the tone for this whole season.
Yeah, from that point early on, and from the first game, we saw this team had the potential. It was a surprising win because Brian and I both thought that this was going to be a game that they were going to struggle in early on in the season. Division I team coming in, didn't have really much problem. Now, Hartford did give them a run for their money. I mean, they only won by 11 points, but still, nonetheless, they were in control of that game for a full 40 minutes, and that really kind of opened up the door and had a lot of people, I think, realize, and maybe had the team realize that they could put together strings of this type of performance. They could put together performances like that, and they could finish off games against Division I, Division II, Division III opponents, Region 19 conference, out-of-conference games. I think that really, as you said, Brian, set the tone early on in the season, and it's given them confidence throughout the year.
Kenneth Barrow hits a 3. Olakani high-stepping into the front court.
That was a little weird. I don't know what that was. Maybe he's trying to show off his, what was it, the third, fourth pair of shoes now he's got? Come on.
He looked like he was a defensive back going into the end zone. So get a hard foul there. It's Hernandez coming up a little bit shaken up.
Foul was on Ocean's number 1, Edward Jones.
For Edward Jones, it's his second.
Let's watch this again here.
Jordan Hernandez on the line, shooting 2.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a block, but you see Jordan kind of roll over there on his wrist, I believe. That's always dangerous when you ever have someone on top of it and you roll over on that wrist.
Hernandez, one of the returning players who was on this team last year, had a pretty prominent role on the team a year ago, a team that, of course, won the region, and they have their sights set on doing that once again. Marinaccio. Inside for Lang, and he's able to go up and lay it in.
Yeah, Lang been one of the bright spots for Ocean, who's been able to score from around the perimeter along with inside. So, good player there for Ocean.
Nifty move by Cabrera. They're going to count the basket, and it's a chance at a three-point play. Another foul on the Vikings, as this one's on Marinaccio. Isaiah Hill will go to the Ocean bench. So Cabrera, one free throw coming. Minutes to go. Jones almost walked with it, and McNeil the steal. McNeil racing ahead, drop it off LaRocca, and he lays it in. Ocean will have one game left in the season. As a matter of fact, both of these two teams just one game remaining after this one is over. Just an errant pass from Marinaccio.
Yeah, and for Brookdale, it's probably going to be their biggest game of the year, up at Northampton to close out the season. That's a very tough team, very good team in the Region 19 Conference. Brookdale feels that they can knock them off on the road. They then can have the confidence and the momentum needed to win the Region 19 title, but it's going to be a tough game on Saturday.
That's Forbes for three, just checked in. And Northampton is the number 4 team in the region, so that's a matchup of two good ones. Kick ball is called.
And Stefan Forbes, someone I thought would come in a little bit earlier on in the second half, particularly when Brookdale had the game in command, but on the floor now, had kind of a breakout game a couple of games ago where he was shooting lights out from behind the three-point line. So possibly we'll see a rebirth of that here.
Yeah, that's what he can do when he's out there. Marinaccio will go to the free throw line for the Vikings. One of 2 Ocean players who averages a double-double at 14 points and just under 11 rebounds. And the rebound to Morgan. By Morgan. Lee Jones up the floor, and he uses the right hand for 2. Cabrera almost walked with it. Hernandez out for Forbes, tries another 3, won't go, and it's rebounded by Lang, and then fouled. Perez Cabrera has now picked up 3 personals, and it's Lang at the free throw line. Shooting it at just 47% this year. It was a 1-and-1. Marinaccio puts it back up and in. Forbes gets inside, throws it up off the backboard. Here's Jason Porter for Marinaccio. Drew a lot of contact from Lampley there, no call. Marinaccio thought for sure he was hit, and he was.
And that probably should have been a foul there on Lampley, but the officials just didn't call it.
Outside for Jones, and he hoists up a brick. Hernandez has it ripped out of his hands by Jones. Edward Jones stripped and fouled by Forbes.
When you're Brookdale, when you have such a big lead like this, there's really no need to be committing fouls. I understand you don't want to give up too many buckets here, but sometimes when you get beat on defense, particularly when you have such a large lead, there's no harm in just letting those buckets go. Certainly you don't want to just get out of the way and let the defender score, but you also don't want to commit any silly fouls just because it just adds to the length of the game, and certainly it just adds to the overall fouls for your team. So that's certainly not what you want to do if you're Brookdale with a large lead.
And even with that lead, Brookdale has racked up 18 fouls in the half, more than they'd like. McNeil a little out of control with it. It'll stay here. And a timeout taken by Brookdale with 5:24 remaining. The Jersey Blues 92, Ocean 49. We'll be back to the Collins Arena after this.
Side education, as does our acronym, CHANGE, and that's change with 2 H's. Change is at the heart of everything we do, and our goal is to educate you, inspire you, and empower you to work with us to improve our world. We want you to be a partner with us in change. I just want to be sure, can everybody hear me okay? If you
Welcome back here on Brookdale TV. As we get a look there at a few of the baseball players with their season fast approaching and spring right around the corner.
That's an area that you know very well, Brian, baseball.
Pitchers and catchers have already reported at the professional ranks.
Mr. MLB Network.
As the season will begin Major League Baseball around the end of March. That, of course, means warmer weather ahead, although it's awfully warm out there today for a February evening. Temperature in the 60s in the Lincroft area. McNeil won't go, and it's back out for Lampley. He has it slapped away, but he's able to regather. As we come up on 5 minutes left, Lampley steps into a jumper for 2.
And that's what happens when you're Brookdale, when you just take your time on offense. With this set on the floor, some players that don't have a whole lot of experience with actual game time, sometimes when you have the ball on offense, they just need to learn just to slow the ball down and work for a good shot. That's what Lampley was able to do there after backing the ball out. That's what these 5 players on the floor, as I said, don't have a whole lot of experience during game time. That's something that they need to learn.
Lampley for 3. Offensive rebound, McNeil. Nice move inside, he banks it in.
Brookdale now 4 points away from having another 100-point event.
Yeah, they're very close to their season average for points, which is just under 98. And Hernandez can't get them there as he missed the dunk. Brookdale's missed a couple of dunks in the second half. Hernandez missed the layup that time, and coming out with it is Jones. Lang, yes, for three. Brookdale 96, Ocean 52. Ocean came in feeling pretty good about themselves, riding a season-best 3-game winning streak, but that will come to an end tonight. Forbes connects. Porter from the baseline, count it, and one.
Well, that's not certainly going to get any props from the coaching staff, but at least Lampley got a good laugh about it. That's kind of an old high school trick when you get beat, you go up and you scream at him, you try to distract him. And then not only did he distract him, but not have the result that he was looking for, but he kind of tackled him in the process.
Porter had a great game in Ocean's last contest. He scored 26 points and 10 of 13 shooting. What a shot by Forbes. And that gets Brookdale to triple figures tonight.
Yeah, now that's the 10th game this year that they've had triple figures.
Waddleton in and out and back in on a triple.
The remarkable thing is the scoreboard was able to put 100 points on the board this time. Remember last time? I believe it was against, what the heck was it, Sussex County, that they had trouble putting 100 points on the board.
Yeah, there was a scoreboard malfunction that night. It's rather bizarre because the score wound up reading that Brookdale had like 5 or 7 points. Waddleton rebounds the Lampley miss. Push it ahead, Porter. He goes up. Won't go, but he's fouled.
Fouls on Brookdale's number 2.
So the Jersey Blues are on their way to making it 14-0 here at home this season, but they haven't lost at home in quite a long time. Since we've been doing the games, we have not called a Jersey Blue loss in this building.
I know. It must be us. It has to be.
It's amazing.
You got to keep us around. You got to keep the win streak going.
Now, last year they had a fair amount of losses, but they all came on the road or in neutral sites.
Something about this building is just unbelievable for this team. Not just this year, but the past several years.
As Anthony McNeil will go to the free throw line.
Fouls on Ocean's 11. Isaiah Good.
And I'm happy to report as well that my headset, it hasn't fallen off today, too.
Don't jinx it, not yet. Fingers crossed, right? It's only for the close-up that it really matters.
It's on there pretty snug, though. So McNeil getting some second half minutes here tonight, makes 2 at the line. Brookdale putting on the finishing touches of yet another victory, and in dominating fashion as they routed the Vikings for the second straight time this year. First meeting, Brookdale won it 116-74. It's R.J. Lang. And this one, it remains to be seen what the final tally will be, but it'll be one-sided as Forbes to shoot free throws.
Fouls on Ocean's number 11. Isaiah Hill. That is number 4.
Isaiah Hill picks up
On Forbes on the line.
his 4th. I think the beauty about this Brookdale team is you have the constants, the star players in Jameek Moore, and on most days Grant Good. Of course, we talked about him being inactive today, but then there's so many other players who fulfill their roles so well, and on any given day it can be a Forbes, it can be a Hernandez, a Bradshaw, and Olakani, just so many sources that contribute.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that's just the key with this team this year. It's not one player in particular. Obviously, you have players like Jameek Moore and Zach Olikani, Matt Ringel, players such as that can put a lot of points on the board and can score quickly and score consistently. But you also have players like Jordan Hernandez or even a player such as Kenneth LaRocca or anybody else like that can step up on any given night and put points on the board and contribute when maybe some of the star players such as Grant Good or Matt Ringel or whomever is having a bad night. That's really, I think you hit the nail on the head, Brian, the thing that makes this team so tough and so resilient, and one of the reasons why they're undefeated this year.
And Ocean has had their difficulties from the free throw line, but it's been a lot more than just that. The turnovers mounted early on as Brookdale turned an early 3-point deficit into a 1 point at 24-8 lead and have not looked back. Final minute of play tonight. As Porter denied by Hernandez. He chips in on defensive end this time. And Forbes all the way to the rim. Pretty fitting that maybe the final possession will be a Brookdale steal because they've racked up their share of those. And there's about, a tenth of a second difference.
I would say it's almost identical. to
Almost
shot clock and
identical.
game clock, yeah. How about that guy?
Just sensational what this program has been able to accomplish. They have one game to play before the postseason begins. As this one is over, I thought, but maybe not. There's 0.6 of a second. So this will be a formality here. They have to inbound it. And now it's really over. So the final score tonight, Jersey Blues, they didn't lead it from start to finish, but they wrap up another dominating victory. The final score, Brookdale 106, Ocean 64. Brookdale gets set for a trip out to Pennsylvania when they'll take on Northampton for the final game of the regular season. And then it's on to the postseason. Likely there'll be a game here at the Collins Arena. Hopefully we'll be along for that. Remains to be seen who the opponent is, but going forward, I mean, what more can you say? It's the number one team in the nation. They haven't lost, 27-0. We can go on and on and on, but you look ahead, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much more to say. I mean, we've talked about it all year. This team is just incredible. They are the number one team in the country for a reason. And right now, at least within this conference, with maybe the exception of Northampton, as I said, that's probably going to be the biggest game that Brookdale's played all year. Not so much because it's one of the toughest teams that they've played. They've played tougher teams than that, but probably because you're trying to keep that full season together. So mentally, it's going to be the toughest game that they've played all year on the road at Northampton. But really, I don't see any areas that they're really struggling in. They got off to a rough start tonight. That was an area that was a concerning start. They didn't start off all that well. They looked a little sluggish. They were a little bit slow, but then they were able to turn things around and were able to score over 100 points. So you really can't say anything that was bad really wrong with the offense on the both sides of the ball. So just a really good performance by Brookdale. Like I said, this is a team that I think is going to compete not only for a Region 19 title, but now their goal is not only to win that region, but to get to the national title. It's not to win the national tournament. That's not necessarily a huge goal that they have to have. It certainly would be nice, but the goal to getting there, particularly with this team, I think is an understatement.
And they'll look to do that again for the first time in 3 seasons. So that's a wrap for the first game of our doubleheader. Tim and I are coming back after a break for the women's game. This is Brookdale basketball here on Brookdale TV.